how was your journey from being a chartered accountant to a digital marketer?
While I was pursuing chartered accountancy, I was also like a blogger.
Do you watch cricket? Because to understand cricket memes, you have to be a cricket fanatic.
Oh yes, I'm 100% shamelessly hooked to the sport.
Tell us a little bit more about your role. What's your day-to-day like?
I have to solve a lot of issues, a lot of queries that come in from the clients who are using his product, which is Go High Level.
So how do you cope up with all that?
I'm learning on the job constantly, every day.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Know Your VA. And today we have Tehreem with us. She's been with us for a while. I don't know how many years, but I've seen her for a long time. Welcome, Tehreem.
Thank you so much.
Let's start with where are you from and what's your education background and what degree did you do?
Okay, so I'm basically from Rawalpindi and I completed my CA Inter back in 2021 from SCANS. And then later on, while I was pursuing chartered accountancy, I was also like a blogger, an influencer blogger kind of a thing, where I started working with different brands like Samsung, Telenor, Pakistan Super League. They actually,
nice.
And because I used to think in memes and I used to create a lot of memes while watching those games.
Nice.
So they were like, we're just going to pay you and have fun with it. Like, just create memes for us. And it's okay because they were initially launching the campaign for it. So they were like, meme marketing is also a good sort of marketing, so just do it.
So you were like, do you watch cricket? Because to understand cricket memes, you have to be a cricket fanatic.
Oh yes, I'm 100% shamelessly hooked to the sport, where I cannot live with the team and I can't live without it.
We're all like that.
Yeah.
We're all like that. Awesome. And so how was your journey from being a CA to up at, where did you graduate from?
University of the Punjab.
University of Punjab. And so how was your journey from being a chartered accountant to a digital marketer later?
So while I was working as a blogger, while I was pursuing CA, one of my friends who was already working at RepStack, she came over to my place because we're good family friends. And she was just working on a graphic and I was like, listen, just adjust these settings and it might look more aesthetically pleasing. And she did that. And it actually looked good. So later on, she's like, why don't you do it? You should. So I applied back in July in 2021. And then for a couple of months, I didn't get a response. And then I amended my resume a little bit better. And I incorporated a lot of these brands that I've already worked with. Later on, I did get a call. I was hired as an appointment setter. And then after a week, based on the response that I got, based on the feedback that I got from my manager, they transitioned me into a digital marketing associate.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about your role. What's your day-to-day like and what is your main tool that you're working on?
Okay, so currently I am working with Frank Kern. I'm a lead account manager where I have to solve a lot of issues, a lot of queries that come in from the clients who are using his product, which is Go High Level. And my day includes a lot of meetings, a lot of Zoom meetings, and a lot of Go High Level where I have to fix funnels, work out. If there's some issues with the workflow, I need to fix those. And I'm always within meetings and helping all of these clients out. So that's what my work day looks like.
Awesome. And you mentioned GHL, Go High Level. Is it the main tool that you're working on or do you use other tools as well?
No, just Go High Level is the main tool that I'm working on.
So how is that experience? And Go High Level is every day it's coming up with new features and all. So how do you cope with all that?
I'm learning on the job. That's just the way it is, that I learn on the job constantly, every day. So whenever they're coming up with new features, I have these hacks and tricks, and there's a website called ideas.gohighlevel.com.
Oh, nice.
I just keep track of whatever's happening through there. And then there's status.gohighlevel.com as well, where I usually go and see if there's something that's malfunctioning or not, so I can actually look at it if it's on their end or if it's on my end that it's not working. So I need to be sure, and to be at the top of my game, I really need to ensure that I have all these statuses first before I really update my clients or help them out. So I do use a lot of these other platforms that are associated with Go High Level. But yeah.
How different is your current role from the one you were doing with Casey?
It's very different. With Casey, I was working as a marketing associate, where I was primarily responsible for email marketing, coming up with the content that I was working on, weekly emails that needed to be sent out to our clients. I was also helping the Facebook ads department, where I used to come up with the ads copy. There used to be briefs, Facebook ad briefs that I used to write for them. So that was something that I was doing. I was also helping out Justin Day because he was also a client of Casey's.
Yeah.
I was responsible for his blogs and scheduling and all of that. So I was doing a lot of these things while I was working with Casey. So it's very different. Now I have to help out. It's a direct client-facing role. So now I have to directly communicate with the clients, but before it wasn't like that when I was working with Casey.
So in the tenure of 3 years and some months, you've almost had every role that RepStack offers, right?
Almost, yes.
Apart from executive assistant.
Yeah, and sales.
And
yeah.
sales, yeah.
That's true.
Okay. And so what do you do has Frank put up a learning curve for you? Or do you go to Frank that, all right, these are the kind of trainings that I want? Or do they come from RSA? How do you keep yourself updated with that?
So basically, it's just been recent that I've had the opportunity to connect with Frank. But before, it was Tyler Dorsey, who was like our first initial point of contact. And then now it's also Natalia Kern, who is Frank Kern's wife. Usually, I do talk to them. There's another person, Melissa, who, whenever there's something that I don't understand and I don't have the answer to right away, I usually go to her. As far as my trainings go, I am enrolled in the extended program for Go High Level within RepStack. I complete those trainings whenever I find the time to at the end of my shift. And whenever I need any other help that's needed, I do have their Slack workspace where I'm open to just punch in any query and they will instantly respond, or whenever they find the time to. Frank does that. He does respond to my queries. In case he finds something interesting, he notes that down. That's something that I really like about it, that he notes them down and then he goes back and comes back with a Loom video on the same topic.
Nice.
For future references and to keep it safe somewhere. So in case someone else needs help, he does that from time to time. And that's something that I've inculcated in myself as well. That whenever I think that this is something that my team members might need, because there's another person that they've hired, if ever I think that's something that she might need, I record a Loom video and send it to her that, hey, listen, this is for safekeeping, and for future references, you can use it.
Nice. And how much help do you get from your pod as well, like the people who are not working on Frank's account? Do you go back to them and you get help from there?
Yeah, sometimes. Like whenever I'm stuck somewhere and I don't have an answer, like this happened last week. I just posted a question about email list cleaning software. I needed help and I posted that question and everybody just jumped in to help. That's something that I really like about RepStack. When I first joined, I feel like I should mention this, that when I first joined, it was like, I'm very close to my father. So I was like, listen, I've never seen a company that is welcoming and so nice where everybody just jumps in because they want to help.
Yeah.
So everybody just likes to help everyone. So whenever I need, I do mention something and everybody jumps in to help me.
I think we've put in a lot of effort for that, just to get this in our culture. And it's overwhelming to hear that. And I'm glad that people are taking advantage of it and helping each other out. Working nights, how does that affect you? Or were you a night person all your life?
I was.
Yeah.
So it didn't really affect me much. I like working in the nights anyway. I'm up till 5 a.m., 6 a.m. normally, so I was like, it's okay if I work.
And how do you plan the rest of the day when you wake up and when you start your shift?
So I wake up around 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. in the day, and then because I am socially, politically very active person, so I like to know what's happening in the country. I like to know what's happening in the world of sports. I just wake up, I turn on my phone and then I'm like, okay, just go through Instagram or Twitter. And then I pick up my newspaper and then I'm like, okay, what's happening?
Nice.
And then I talk to my father.
You like it old school, newspaper?
Yeah.
I like it.
I've been reading since class 5 or something.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's a habit that my father inculcated, so I've always been. It also pushed me to pursue journalism at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can make a good
Sports
journalist, actually.
Yeah, I wanted to be a sports journalist. For the love of cricket, I just wanted to.
You can.
Yeah.
You still can, I think. You can make big in there. Tell us a little bit about working from home. How does that feel like? What are the pros and cons of working from home?
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best, honestly, because I get the freedom of working from wherever I can. There has happened when I had to attend weddings and then I was still working. While I was still working, so I could just take my laptop or attend a lunch with my friends or something. I do that sometimes. It's actually good for me, and I don't think there's a con to it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
A lot of people look at it as something that you're not social enough if you're working from home. But on the other hand, I think you have more time with your family, you have more time with your friends, you have the weekend to yourself as well. And the best part is these long drives and wastage of time, exhaustion.
Yeah, the commute would be... I don't think I would have been able to do it otherwise, because it saves me a lot of time, it saves me a lot of trouble to get up in the morning or whenever and get ready and everything. So it saves me that hassle a lot.
I think the biggest aspect of having 60% females in RepStack is because it's true. Work from home. Awesome. Tell us a little bit about your own life, anything that you're proud of that you've done, and anything that you want to share with the rest of the people.
I'm a very sensitive person and I feel other people's pains really deeply. There was one thing that I always wanted to do, and then when the opportunity came, I took it. There was a girl, small child, she was an orphan and she needed some help with her education, and I felt that this is something that I wanted to do. Every month I keep some amount aside for her education and I send it over. And I think she was in first grade when she started. She's in grade 3 now. Nice. And she's doing really well because the organization, they send me her reports, her report cards and stuff, and she's a bright kid and I'm really proud of that. And
maybe you should name the organization, so if anybody else wants to do it, they can do it.
It's called the Pakistan Citizen Alliance.
Okay.
And it was a colleague that recommended and referred to me, and they were like, it's not a huge amount if you'd like to do it. And I was up for it. I was like, okay. And that sort of made me feel so good about myself, and the fact that it's actually giving that really makes a difference.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, yeah.
Giving is a very important part of our life as well. Tell us something that you did for your agency apart from your job description that has really helped out or made an impact in your agency. So,
other than, I think the fact that I thought that I could be a good leader one day or a good manager one day, when they hired someone after me, I thought that's a good opportunity to rise to the occasion. And later on, when there were 2 hires, Tyler came up to me and he asked me, he was like, are you comfortable with the people that we've hired? Because you're our strongest asset right now, and we would like your feedback on this. And if you're not comfortable, we would not keep them. And it had only been 2 days since the people were hired, so I could not really say or make a judgment right away. So I thought that maybe we should give them some time. And it's okay, and I'll talk to them. And later on, he was like, okay, you know what, if you seem comfortable and it's okay, so you can train them however you want, because they're going to work with you or for you, so just you can train them however you want. We trust you that much.
Nice. How do you culturally connect with all these people? Because they come from a different culture, different background. How do you connect with all the team? Is it like a very friend bond, or is it like...
Sometimes it's just work, but because right now we're at the end of the year, there's not a lot of work at times because everyone's like in the holiday mood already. Keeping that in mind, I think in memes at times, so sometimes just post memes in the channel, and then I try to be mindful of their time zones and their holidays and stuff. We connect that way, and it's like a 50-50 on there. It's like they also they're very mindful and they're very careful about the fact that we also have our cultural holidays and everything. So Natalia once came up to me and she was like, I know that you have all these religious holidays and everything. I don't want you to think that you're not going to get all those holidays and you're going to have to come to me and ask for them. I just want you to know that you have them.
Okay,
so
nice.
That was really nice to be able to connect. Yeah.
Nice. I've seen you're a really social person and you come to all the events as well. How was Rep Camp for you?
It was good. I actually want to talk about this because when the first Rep Camp happened and all these events happened, I was a very shy person.
Really?
I am a very shy person. I cannot talk to people that easily, and my social battery gets drained very easily. Rep Camp 1, I didn't really talk to a lot of people. Rep Camp 2, I was a little hesitant, but I still spoke to people and I was still connected with them. And Rep Camp 3 this time, I reached out to Azhar Bhai himself. And then I went up to him myself and then I showed him a lot of good feedback that I got from the clients. And he was really happy. And then I think Rep Camp, the latest one that happened back in September, I think that was the best event that I've attended. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I actually spoke to a lot of people. I connected with them. I met a lot of friends, the ones that don't live here. So, and also working remotely, you don't get to meet them quite often. Yeah. So it was a good way to really connect with them again and meet them. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed it.
You have friendships inside RepStack as well?
Yes, I do.
A lot of them?
Not a lot of them, but yeah, some people that I keep close. Yeah.
Nice. Any funny incident inside RepStack that has ever happened?
I think it was funny at the time where I was at Rep Camp and there was an ex-CSM that I met, now an ex-CSM, and I met her and she went for a hug and I went for a handshake. And there
That's so common.
Yeah. And everybody was there and a few people were watching and it got so awkward at one point. I was like, what do I do? Do I hug her back or what do I do? But yeah, that was funny.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about digital marketing, people who want to start their careers in digital marketing. What would be your suggestion right now?
I would say that this is the best time. This is the best opportunity to start your career in digital marketing. I know that for a fact because being from a business background, being from an accounting background, I started mine 3 years ago and I haven't looked back. I don't want to look back because being at RepStack, it helped me shape my career. It gave me that stepping stone where I could really utilize my skills and really hone in that factor about me that I have, that I'm creative and everything. So really hone in my creativity. So it was really, I think people who want to get a career in digital marketing, they should have a very learning mindset, a very coachable mindset. There's something that I live by. It's one of my favorite quotes and also something that I always mention, which is, if you're the smartest person in a room, change the room.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere else that you're going to learn.
Nice.
So.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Tareem. And everybody who comes to my podcast gets a bottle. I know you have one, but this is the bottle that... it might be a different color. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Very nice talking to you, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Howard. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you.